Hi, I'm Jim Herbert,
I'm Christiana Herbert.
and we'd like to thank everyone who's helped so far in sponsoring us with Kelly's Bridge, the GoFundMe page to help our friend Kelly restart her life.
We have just been really touched and encouraged by everything that you're doing to help our friend. There are people who have also given in other ways and, sought no credit, totally behind the scenes, and it's just amazing to watch people rally together to help our friend.
So far, we've put together over $2,000 in contribution to Kelly in just 2 short weeks. And before we continue and tell you more about Kelly's story and what happened where we left you last when she was in a hospital in Rockford early last summer, we want to go back and talk a little bit about what we learned about Kelly and what we got to know about her in the first month that we knew her.
Absolutely. For now, what we want to tell you is that Kelly is in a safe place. She's in a room where she's safe. She's able to really start resting and healing. She's been messaging us to tell us what's going on a day-to-day basis. It's really, really encouraging to see that some stability is going to help her rest and heal. She's got her meds that she needs for her seizure medications, and we're just so excited about this new chapter.
Absolutely. So before Christiana had a chance to meet Kelly and she and I were communicating, just the two of us, we wanted to bring Christiana into the loop so she could get to know Kelly and create a bridge of trust. And so Christiana went out to lunch with Kelly one day last spring.
Yeah, so last spring, after Jim and Kelly had communicated a little bit, we really just wanted to make it clear that we were in this together, and that she could trust us, and that Jim wasn't just some creepy guy.
Fair enough, yeah.
You never know. So just wanted to be sure that she knew that she could trust us and that we were really genuinely interested in helping her, just to help her. So I went out to lunch with her, and it was just the two of us, and we went and got a couple of sandwiches, and it was the first time I had met her. I'd heard all about her, even heard her on the phone talking to Jim, but it was the first time I had met her. And she told me that I would be able to recognize her because she would be the only one in the room who was homeless. And I always thought that was so strange because, I don't generally look around and, have the ability to pick out who's homeless just by looking at them. And really the only reason I was able to pick out who Kelly was when I met her was because she still seemed kind of sad. She was the person who seemed the most sad, the most shy, the most reticent to really stand up and acknowledge that she was even there, that she took up any space in the room. And so I told her she could pick out anything she wanted to. We'd just have a couple sandwiches, and she asked whether or not she could have a soda, and I said, well, of course. She's like, oh my goodness, I've been drinking water. I haven't had a soda in weeks. This is such a treat. And she managed some of her sandwich, but she was navigating around some missing teeth. She was missing a bunch of teeth, and it was not out of lack of care on her part. Unfortunately, her ex had actually knocked the teeth out of her mouth in one of the beatings that she'd endured, and she was going to get care for it, but even though the rest of her teeth were fine, she told me that she was going to end up having all of them pulled for dentures, because that's the only thing that Medicaid covers. They don't cover any dental implants or repair work like that. You have to just have all of your teeth removed and get fitted for dentures. But she was excited to move forward because she was excited to have teeth that weren't hurting and teeth that worked and allowed her to eat properly. Kelly shared a lot about her past with me. I asked her stories about her childhood and where she had come from, and that was when I found out that Kelly grew up in what I can only really call a broken home, where she was with her siblings but ended up being pulled out of the home along with her siblings by DCFS and became a ward, and was just bounced around through the system basically ever since.
And so Christiana had that first meeting with Kelly, and about a week later, then I met with Kelly to have dinner, and we had pretty regular contact at this point. we were texting and emailing each other on a daily basis. And she met me after work one afternoon and said, should I just meet you out in front? I said, no, come in. Don't know if I'll be ready. And she said, well, won't you be embarrassed that I'm in your place of business? And I said, no, you're my friend, Kelly. And just to see that level of not being seen or not mattering was it was difficult to look at, but it gave me a better awareness. So we went around the corner to another restaurant in our group, and we sat and we ordered some food. I wasn't that hungry, so I had a little something, and she ordered a chicken dish, and we talked. And I noticed the whole time we were talking, she was conscious to cover up a spot in her neck and wasn't speaking without always moving her hand to her neck. And I said to her, I see that you've got a scar there. And she said, yeah. She said, that's where he stabbed me in the neck with a pair of scissors. And that's when I decided to leave. So we learned a little bit more about how and why she made the decision to go into the streets instead of staying in a relationship. But more importantly, we learned a lot more about how resilient she was. And she told me stories about things that happened to her over the last couple of years. And when the dessert tray came, she said, can I get dessert too? And her eyes lit up as if she hadn't had dessert in quite some time. And we talked, and we just talked about how to live a richer life. And she asked a lot of questions about what she might be able to do to make more money or get a job or even just to beg more effectively. And during the course of this luncheon, we discussed the idea of Streetwise magazine. And Kelly was really intrigued, and she knew about it, but she just didn't know how to get started. So we talked about positive thinking, and she'd been reading a book that we'd given her called Infinite Possibilities by Mike Dooley. And she told me when she left our lunch dinner meeting that she felt like she could run through a wall. And sure enough, within a day, Kelly took it upon herself to raise enough money begging to go buy her first lot of Streetwise magazines. And she started selling Streetwise, and it was going well for a week or so. And we'll tell you more about that story in the ensuing messages. So the next time
we're going to tell you more about how Kelly has overcome some challenges that have happened since, and how she what she was up to when she was kind of off our radar during the fall, and then how she came back into our lives with a message on Christmas Eve. Believe it or not, that was only 6 weeks ago.
Absolutely.
It was only 6 weeks ago.
Right on. So for now, please continue to share this story with other people and friends, and please continue to give whatever you can. Give something once, or if you can, give something monthly. We are now 20% of the way to our goal of raising $10,000 to get Kelly into a situation where she can heal and she doesn't have to worry about her housing or her food for at least 1 year. So thank you for helping us help Kelly reinvent her life. And thank you for following the story. We look forward to sharing more with you in the next weeks ahead.
Thank you so much, everybody.